War had been raging on the beaches of Kashyyyk for the better part of a day. It was fierce and dirty fighting. Wookiees and clones clawed away at Dutchman's brigade for as long as they could stand it. Eventually, however, the beachhead defenses crumbled and the bodies lay dead and dying. Dutchman's troopers had made a successful landing onto the planet. Captain Kippur stood amongst the last few of his men that had managed to crawl their way off the beaches into the backwoods of Kashyyyk. "Alright, how many of you are from my garrison on Woodburn Beach?" Nobody answered him. "Alright, anyone here ranked captain or higher?" Again, nobody answered him. "Alright, it looks like I'm in charge here until we meet up with Commander Tough. Hopefully he's still alive. Gather up any useful equipment that you've got and get something into your stomachs. We need to put some distance between ourselves and Dutchman's brigade. Once we have enough men and a defendable position, we'll try taking them on once more. We may have taken a beating off of the beaches, but we're not off the planet yet. I'm gonna see if the Wookiees can pitch in any warriors. But let's be honest, their people have been through the worst of the worst, and probably don't have much left to fight back with. Not to worry though, I'd put money on Commander Rico sending soldiers the second he finds out about our situation. Let's just keep our helmets up, boys." Far off from Captain Kippur, Rico was speaking once again to what he believed was a figment of his imagination. Sarge. "Rico, your enemies are growing more and more powerful. Trust me, you must begin preparing for this growing threat that I've been warning you about." Yes, I was informed of the Dutchman's attack on Kashyyyk. We've got it under control. I'm rerouting Ghost Unit to go and reinforce Commander Tough there. No, Rico. This is an enemy bigger than Dutchman, or even the Empire. It's an... Sarge vanished and Aqua came in behind Rico. "Sir, were you just talking to yourself?" Yeah, I was. Sometimes getting my thoughts into the air helps me develop them." "Oh, okay, sir. Well, you might be needing to use that strategy very soon, because I've got some rough news for you." "More bad news, huh? Seems to be all we're getting these days." "Well, lay it on me." "I'm just gonna come out and say it, sir, as I don't think there's any way of softening this one. But Racket invited me to a meeting with a group of high-ranking officers. I didn't really know any of them personally, except Commander Badger, who of course I had heard legends of." "Badger's involved in bad news? Big surprise there," Rico said sarcastically. "But what happened? Racket calls plenty of meetings. It's not out of the ordinary." Rico was putting on a brave face, but he knew something was up and he was just hoping it wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be. "The meeting was traitorous, sir. In fact, it was outright rebellious. Everyone there was in agreement to take their troops to a battle on Coruscant without your knowing." Rico in fact knew that this might happen. There had been a divide in his leadership for the past few months. People weren't agreeing with all his decisions, but he had always said he'd mend the divide after the fact. But it looked like he had waited too late this time. "And you, Aqua? How did you feel about this?" "I obviously didn't agree, as I'm coming to you with this information. But to be honest, I understood a lot of their points. It's not a bad idea, but I respect you too much to betray you. And it also seems like an unnecessary risk to me. When the war is going relatively well at the moment, why waste it all on this?" "Well, I appreciate your faith in me, Aqua. What about 55? Was he there?" "No, 55 wasn't invited, nor was Flak or Ghost Unit. They probably only invited you because you're a risk taker in battle. That stunt with the water fountain on Naboo is the stuff of legends. Regardless, I need you to make your way around to all the officers. See who has already joined Racket, and those who haven't, ensure their loyalty." "Yes, sir." Rico then called a meeting with 55, Flak, and Phantom and Clocker, who were representing Ghost Unit. These were the top commanders that he had left, besides Commander Tough, who was dealing with the situation on Kashyyyk currently. "You all have probably heard that our nation is now in a state of civil war. Though shots have not been exchanged, I worry it may very well come to that. I have preemptively sent Aqua around to all the officers of notable rank to ensure their loyalty, and I hope you all are to remain loyal to the brigade. I think I speak for all of us here that we will stand by you, Rico. What Racket is doing is despicable." "Thank you, 55. But I can't help but feel that Racket isn't really in the wrong here. In fact, it's more neutral. He's doing what he thinks is right, so much so that he would betray us. I don't think he made this decision lightly, and he still holds my respect as a leader and a friend. But I'm afraid we cannot afford to have him take half of our forces from us. We must respond in an aggressive manner, no matter his intentions. Well said, sir, Phantom spoke up. We can reposition Ghost Unit to strike out against Racket's fleet presently. No, Phantom. I need Ghost Unit to be transitioned from Bothawi to Kashyyyk. Commander Tough is getting destroyed by the Dutchman down there. Leave enough men to garrison Bothawi, however. Now, 55. Glasden is still on Felucia? Yes, sir, he is. He's still quarreling with the Empire there. Okay, we're gonna have to do a sure strike against those forces soon. I want you back on Felucia for when the 501st is ready to make that strike. And be careful, I'm worried Contra might come back. He obviously has unfinished business on that planet. Now for you, Flack. I want you to gather my personal legion, as well as your own. We're gonna be dealing with Racket directly. Now you all have your orders. If we stick together, we will get through this. May the Force be with you. Windu and Coda were enjoying a brief moment of peace together before the storm that was bound to rock their world. So how did you find the boy, Mace? Well, Tucker was having difficulty growing up with his undeveloped force powers. There were weird reports coming from his village about it. One of my friends that I keep in touch with found out about the reports that were getting filed in their local news, and he reached out to me. I knew this child was force-driven right away, so I left Rico to go and nurture him, knowing that the only way to win this war was with a new Jedi Order. Aye, we're always partaking in wars. Recently I had some self-reflection, Mace. I realized that I was done fighting. It was too much for me. All the killing and hatred. It went against all of the old Jedi Master teachings. But then chaos showed up, and a moment of clarity hit me. The Jedi need to do what is right, not what is peaceful. What I'm trying to get at here is that I hope you teach Tucker a realistic version of the Jedi Order. It's time for a new generation of Jedi. Don't worry, Coda. I learned the same lesson myself. I assure you he will be better than all of us, if I can help it. Good, Mace. Now, I put out some messages to my old officers that have since joined the rebels, explaining to them what's going on. I'm hoping some of them will join our cause. But until then, I have located a Sith temple that may hold some information about chaos, and potentially how to defeat it. It sounds like we have a destination then. Captain Rex looked at the screens before him inside their commandeered ship. It was indicating one of Rico's ships was moving, not far away. It was odd that they were in this part of the galaxy, but Rex didn't care. He steered that way anyway. On that very ship, Racket stood with Badger. They had been busy getting logistics set up and were now reconvening for a meeting. Alright, Badger, how'd you fare in recruitment? Well, it seems like with your numbers and my numbers together, we have about 3/8 of Rico's total forces coming with us. We weren't able to acquire any planets, but that's okay. Fleets will be joining us shortly. Alright, not as many as I had hoped, but it'll have to do. A private ran up to them. Commander Racket, a ship has landed aboard. It's Captain Rex. And, well, it's a bit strange. But Mental and Wolf are there too. Mental and Wolf? Why, I thought they were dead. Set up the meeting room promptly. Soon, Racket, Badger, Mental, Wolf, and Rex were standing together. They had been socializing together for a little bit before this, but now Racket was ready to explain to them what was going on. So, you're probably wondering what's going on here, Racket said. Yes, I did sense that something was a bit off, Rex responded. Well, we've split from Rico for the time being. There were disagreements in strategy. Basically, the gist of it is that there's an opportunity to conquer Coruscant and potentially win the war for good. Sounds good, right? Well, Rico is saying that is too risky. I say it's well worth the risk. So for the time being, we are splitting apart from Rico to see if we can end this war early. What do you all think? Are you on our side? The three clones remained silent. There was an awkward stiffness in the air. Of course, this is no light decision. We spent a long time discussing ourselves, as we still love and admire Rico. So you don't have to decide right away, we understand. Let's get some food in our bellies and tell of our adventures. Mental was a bit struck by what he had heard. He knew Rico to be cautious, but in an extremely smart way. He knew there must be more to this story. He wasn't sold on this Racket fella quite yet. His neck crawled a bit. Danger was in the air. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.